You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm Movie Miss, and today we're doing Idle Hands from 1999.
Anton Tobias never had much on his mind.
Don't you think you should have like a goal?
My dream life would be to lie around all day in bed and watch TV while some hot broad delivers me food. And he always had time on his hands.
4 bodies have been discovered and the killer is still at large.
Until one of them got a mind of its own.
I have no control over my hands. It makes me do things I don't want it to do.
Aren't you a little old for Ding Dong Ditch?
Sorry about your bush.
I'm gonna call 911. What's the number? I'm not the killer. Okay. I mean, if OJ could get off, then I'm sure. You there? Ew, that's disgusting.
His friends won't die.
You're dead. Undead, actually. There was this big bright white light at the end of a long tunnel. That's what happened. We were like, forget that, man. Too far.
And the only way to stop it,
Idle hands are the devil's playpen, so keep my hands occupied, right?
is to keep it busy.
Freeze!
Drop the knitting needles.
That's probably not a good idea. Put him down! Cuff me! Put those needles down, young man! Down! Cuff me!
Columbia Pictures presents
The police have no leads and the killer is still out there.
You scream like a girl.
the comedy
Careful, it's on kind of loose. That's really starting to get on my nerves.
that dares to give scary movies
Look at me! I'm in the face!
the backhand.
What you doing, man? That's my dad. Come on. CPR, man. I saw him Baywatch. Did you lose something there, bud?
And I'm being joined today by my co-host, Miss Nikki Flixx. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
So I'm dying to know right off the top, I hadn't seen this in years, and I remembered loving it, and I laughed my ass off, still love it. How are you feeling about Idle Hands?
I was surprised that I remembered loving it, and now it was kind of lukewarm reaction.
Oh, really?
It was not quite as good as I recalled it being. I've changed. That happens sometimes when you see something at one point in your life, and then later, if you're a different person, you see it a little differently. I did still laugh quite a bit.
Okay, so I don't care for movies that have weed or smoking pot as part of a plot point or a character trait. I'm not a fan. However, there are exceptions. I did like The Night Before, that Christmassy Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Do you know which one that one is?
Yes, I like that movie.
And Grandma's Boy and Friday and Idle Hands. That's about it. Anything else that has pot, weed, trying to make it a big plot point, I'm not for those movies. This one, as you like to say, tickles my pickle still.
Yep. And it's
Still.
it's not for everybody when it comes to that being a central part of the plot or a big part of the main characters' lives. It's about relatability. If you don't relate to that being a part of your life as a teenager or, as a younger person being like that, then it doesn't strike you as funny. It seems immature and want. That to me is the part about it that is still highly amusing and funny. that aspect of what's going on, and then the three central characters, yeah, that's what I still find hilarious.
Okay. Well, at the time, this was a critical bomb. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 15%, audience score of 58. Had a budget of 25 million, which I was surprised to find out. Not surprised watching it because they did tons of that mix of practical effects with a little bit of CG. Box office, though, of only 4.2.
Big flop.
Wah wah. I do want to mention real quick, Seth Green is in this movie, and I was Googling and found out that they parodied or spoofed this movie on an episode of his show Robot Chicken.
So I'm obsessed with Robot Chicken. I've seen probably all of them multiple times. I adore that show, and I vaguely remember seeing them doing a spoof of this movie. Now I'm going to go back and I got to find that episode and watch it again.
Okay, so it's called Idle Nuts. It's about his nuts being possessed, I guess.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. My husband is obsessed with Robot Chicken and got me into it, and I've seen pretty much everything there is.
Okay. I just had to throw that out there. I thought that was really funny, and I love when people do that. So this one, Idle Hands, was directed by Rodman Flender, and he'd only done a couple of TV things, some Tales from the Crypt and a couple of horror films. So he really didn't go on to do much. I didn't mind the direction in this film. I thought it was well done. It makes for good suspense when it's supposed to be. And yeah, so I kind of liked him. Top cast in the movie: Devon Sawa, Seth Green, Elden Henson, Jessica Alba, and Vivica A. Fox. And then I also want to give special mention to Christopher Hart, who plays the Hand.
He's a very big hand actor.
He is. He did Addams Family, the movies, all of them, and several TV things that all basically had hand in the title. It was pretty funny to look at his IMDb.
I remember researching this before for something. I believe he is a magician by trade.
Yes.
So yes, very good with the flexibility and the sleight of hand. And yeah, it's very apparent pretty quickly in this movie that they went all in as far as the effects. And then who was the Hand in Addams Family? We got to get that guy. Clearly that was a conversation that happened early on.
Yeah, pay him what he wants. We have to have him.
Right. Yep. There's 15 mil of the budget. They went straight to Hand.
So the IMDb plot says a teenage slacker's right hand becomes possessed with murderous intent. That's it.
Honestly, that one's okay in my book. That's accurate. And the movie really isn't more complicated than that. So that's pretty spot on.
So I did note that the movie runs 105 minutes, and I paid attention to that only because this movie, to me, I could have watched a two-hour plus, because for me on this viewing, I was getting into it and having so much fun. I almost wanted more with Vivica Fox's character. I felt like we got barely anything with her. So I could have stand, the movie to be a little bit longer and have a little more with her, to be honest.
I wouldn't want it to be longer just because by the end I was like a little let down. But I do agree with you that she is sorely underused here, and her character is sorely underwritten.
Yes, and the bit we do get, which we'll touch on when we go walk through the plot, is she's very intriguing. I'm interested in her. All right, let's dive in. Our movie opens to spooky music and creepy imagery with some fun credits. I really liked the credits. It kind of got me hooked from the beginning. I feel like it sets the tone.
Yes, the movie does a good job of doing that with the opening credits, the music, and then your opening scenes as well.
Yes, outside we get to see a quiet suburban house, Halloween decorations everywhere. So I'm already in, Halloween being my favorite holiday. I was like, okay, awesome. So then we cut to inside the house in the master bedroom. We meet a sweet married couple getting ready for bed. They shut their light off and they see a glowing message written on their ceiling that says, "I'm under the bed." The wife screams and the husband looks under the bed, of course, and finds nothing. And the husband and wife here, it's, I want to say Fred Willard, I believe.
Yes.
And I didn't write their names down. Fred Willard, and then I don't remember her name, but she's not in it really after the scene. She was on a TV show that I really liked, and I was like, oh, I want more of the parents. I like these guys. So that was a bummer too.
Sorely underused. A little bit of a theme with this movie.
Well, they assume that it's their son, Anton, their teenage son, playing a prank on them. They hear a noise downstairs, and the husband goes to investigate. He's gone for a little while, so then the wife goes downstairs. She's got this adorable little white cat.
I have to point out, false assumption number, I don't know what, out of about 3 million about cats, as they are always portrayed in movies, is that they let out this ungodly screechy scream whenever they enter a room for no reason. It's used so often as a very effective jump scare in movies, but anyone who's ever lived with a cat knows they do not make that sound. They really don't. Not even when scary things happen. They just run and hide. So the jump scare is fun. I love it, but I always go, really? Cats don't do that.
I have been waiting for many episodes for you to chime in about the cat thing since you're a cat person. So this is all just always for jump scare. They don't ever really do that. That's good to know.
Good God, no. They don't. When they jump, they sometimes make this little noise, or they gobble like turkeys. It's adorable and it's endearing. Never, ever, ever have I heard a cat make that sound.
Well, she takes her little cat after the jump scare, and she goes downstairs because she hears some yelling from the husband and some noises. She blows out some candles that were going inside of these pumpkin heads that are sitting on life-size bodies in the front window as Halloween decor. I love that they go all out. I love that decor. So she slips on some blood and she runs upstairs to call 911, but she gets interrupted when the phone gets yanked out of her hands because it's an old school dial-up phone on the cord. She's hanging onto the phone and somebody grabs the cord and pulls her and the phone under the bed as she's screaming. And then we see blood squirt from under the bed.
I love it. Great opening scene. I love the death of the mom and the blood and the way it's shot. It's very quick, and the music, and it's very effective and good. And you're already like pumped going, okay, this really just came out the gate like full speed. Awesome. I'm instantly very, very sad though, because I like both these actors who are the parents, and I'm realizing that's it. That's all we're going to get. So I'm like, oh, the wind comes out of my sail a little, especially Fred Willard. God, was he a comedic genius?
Agreed.
So underused. I don't know why he was even there.
I know. It makes you wonder how much of this they cut out.
Yeah.
So the next morning, we meet their son, Anton, waking up for the day in his attic bedroom. He puts his headphones on and proceeds downstairs. The cat follows him out of his room, which was, I just caught this now on this viewing, spoiler alert. He's in that attic with the pull down ladder and the door was closed. So if the cat was with the mom when the mom got killed, how did the cat get up into the room with Anton?
That's exactly what my notes are here. Okay. So yeah, instantly you pissed me off because you killed the parents, and I like these actors. Then we have a teleporting cat who magically ended up in the attic. Then we saw this house from the outside. This is a huge house. Why the hell would that kid want to live in the attic? It has a basement. Why would he be living in the attic? What a pain in the ass getting in and out of there. No, a teenager would not want to live up there. So now I'm like, okay, this is kind of starting to irritate me with all the little details. They better pick up the pace and they better start doing some stuff that makes me happy.
Well, yeah, I was like, if they portray him to be such a burnout and so lazy, that's a lot of effort getting in and out of that room.
Going up and bullshit. He'd be living in that basement. Give me a break.
Anton pulls his headphones off long enough to yell, "Mom, we're out of milk. Mom, we're out of dog food." Like, I don't know, just showing how absolutely lazy and dependent he is. So he proceeds into the living room where he flings himself onto the sofa, lights some incense, turns on the TV to a news report that he ignores saying that there have 4 dead bodies in their town and the killer is still at large. He starts to smoke his weed and changes it to cartoons, but when he realizes he's quickly running out, he calls his friend Penub. I had to look this up. It's capital P-N-U-B. And I wanted to say P-Nub, But in the movie, they constantly say Panub. Please tell me, what kind of name is Panub?
All I could think of was Eddie Murphy as Buckwheat, Saturday Night Live. Looking Panub in all the wrong places. Looking Panub. That's all I could think of. And I'm pretty sure that some people sat around and got really, really baked and decided to name a character that. And I guarantee you, stoners probably came up with that. Okay. And then let's talk about Anton and how he's smoking this last bit of his weed.
Yes.
Taking the mouthpiece on an asthma inhaler and using it as a makeshift hidey pipe. You can hide it real easy. So I can confirm from real world experience that it is both very smart and functional. It works. I had a buddy who did that. So I'm looking at a lot of this stuff and going, there's a lot of stuff happening already that it's like you're stereotyping and dumbing down people who smoke marijuana and teenagers. And I'm a little offended and irritated at that. However, there's also a lot of stuff going on that makes me go, did a stoner write this?
It's clever and real world.
Because a lot of it's pretty clever. And I love the inhaler. And yes, Elden Henson as Panub and Seth Green as Mick.
Yes.
Love them both.
They tell him that they don't deliver. He's not Domino's. So if you want some weed, come get it.
And it's literally just down the street.
Yes. Anton begrudgingly heads out in his boxer's robe and some pink slippers, which I can only imagine he stole from his mom. And he goes across the street and over like one house to Panub's. He briefly on the way, though, says good morning to one of his metalhead, gearhead neighbor friends. It's funny
Jack
because
Noseworthy.
Yes, I love him. And his character, Randy, I love that he's got that big ass black truck. He's wearing your stereotyping like AC/DC t-shirt or whatever. And he's got like Shout at the Devil, I think, playing really loud out of his truck.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of Shout at the Devil, I have to say the soundtrack for this movie, incredible. It's one of my favorite things about it. So not only do you have Shout at the Devil, which is playing every time Randy appears and every time he's doing anything with his truck, it's always just Shout at the Devil. Everyone who's listening knows my name is Nikki Flixx. Well, my namesake, or I'm his namesake, I don't know how you want to look at it. Nikki Sixx wrote the song Shout at the Devil. So shout out to him because I love this song and I love him and I love Motley Crue. But then you also have Rob Zombie and The Offspring and Blink-182. There's a lot of good stuff on this soundtrack.
Agreed. So Anton climbs through the basement window where Panub and their friend Mick, Seth Green, are hanging out. Panub tells Anton he's out of weed, unfortunately, but he hears that if you combine nutmeg and oregano, you can get pretty wasted. That sounds wildly unsafe.
So I can confirm through real world experience that is a horrible idea. People who know better love to tell people who don't that they should try it so that they can laugh at them when it all goes wrong. But I do love when he shows up, and I think it's Panub says something about, you know, murders and dead people. And don't you watch the news? And Anton says, I hate that show. Oh,
I can relate.
It's just the smart dialogue between the three of them, mostly between Panub and Mick, but all three of them. That's what I love about this movie. The really smart, funny dialogue with them.
Yes, and in this scene especially, they're razzing Anton about being lazy, and I love that Anton's response is that his life goal is to lie around in bed all day, getting wasted while a hot broad brings him food. And even they look at him like, really, dude?
Exactly. Like I said, part of me goes, this is actually like borderline offensive. All these gross assumptions you're making about teenagers or people who smoke weed, but at least it's not all of them. It's just Anton.
So the two stooges there fill Anton in on the murders that have happened because he doesn't watch the show, The News.
He hates that show.
He hates it. So apparently the murders have happened just over the last couple of days. Anton mentions that in the last couple of days, he hasn't seen his parents. I mean, I guess that's why they have him in the attic, because then that tracks. Why would you ever come see your parents unless you're coming down to get food?
This is what I'm saying. If you really thought about it, that kid's ass would be living in the basement. Easy access to the kitchen. Easy way to sneak in and out without being seen and heard. The attic? No way. You make all this ruckus every time you're coming and going. No self-respecting teenager would want to be in the attic.
So Anton looks out the little window there and he sees Molly, Jessica Alba, looking probably, in my opinion, the cutest she has ever looked in a movie. She just looks like a little pixie on wheels as she floats by on that little scooter.
Oh, pixie. You mean like a manic pixie dream girl? This is one of my biggest problems with this movie. Her character just right over my head. When I was a teenager, I just laughed my ass off, thought it was great. I thought Devon Sawa was adorable. Like, I love Seth Green, like whatever. It didn't even occur to me to be really, really irritated and pissed off and offended on behalf of all women when this character happens. This conveniently placed manic pixie dream girl who happens to live across the street and is gonna just drop everything going on in her life the minute this tool shows her some interest. Bullshit. Total bullshit. And it's really irritating in hindsight.
Fair enough.
But in all fairness to Jessica Alba, she's a doll. This is one of the first things I remember seeing her in. She plays it as written and she looks amazing while doing it. It's just an absolute smack in the face to women everywhere, this character.
So they razz him about being obsessed with her, even though he's never talked to her. They tell him that he should ask her to the dance because with the curfew, because of the murders, there's nothing else going on in the town. And even though it's lame, they should just go to the dance. And he asks them, well, are you guys going? And they're like, no, we're not going to wear dumb costumes. We're not losers. It's like, as he's putting his hand down his pants and then he smells it. I'm sorry. That was just so funny to me. I'm like, really, dude?
They're my favorite thing in this movie, for sure. The two of them as a duo, comedically, they work very, very well together.
So Anton notices that Molly has dropped her lyric journal. So he runs out into the street and is going to grab it and take it back to her. He gets to her house and he chickens out about ringing the bell just as Molly opens the door. He gets shy and shoves the book at her and then starts to run off.
We can see why she's crushing on him so hard. Please.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, what is the appeal?
There is none. I'm here to tell you.
Then we cut to Beaver, Utah, where we see an officer escorting a nun, Vivica A. Fox, to a jail cell. And I like that he calls her Sister Liquor. And she's like, it's liqueur. Sister Liquor. I'm sorry. For you, it's dick jokes. And for me, it's the stupid shit in this movie. She asks if they're sure they have the right man being held in the cell. And then she looks over and she sees a man standing there with just a blank expression on his face. And he's got one hand all withered and deformed, and he's just standing there. She sees the hand, she gets upset, and she storms out. She's missed it again, darn it. And she strips off her habit and climbs into her RV, where she's got her red string board set up and her newspaper clippings, a map with X's marked on it. So she's clearly tracking the killer or something. She connects the X's on the map and it forms a pentagram. She gets all excited and then jumps up to the front of the RV and starts it up and takes off.
I totally forgot about Vivica Fox. And when I was rewatching it, the minute Sister Liqueur made her appearance, I went, oh, that's right. I totally forgot about her in this movie. And so let's just say the bitch is posing as a nun. She can make up any name she wants when she's pretending to be a nun for 10 minutes. But what she comes up with is Sister Liqueur, which can be misread and mispronounced as Sister Liquor. Okay. I got so excited. And then she's in the RV and I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm remembering why I loved this movie. And then her and her interesting story and how smart and awesome she seems just kind of doesn't go much of anywhere. So then I was like, wah. I forgot she's in it, but there's something going on here where there was a way interesting backstory that kind of doesn't happen.
Where I feel like Demon Knight got it right with having kind of mystery and the demon stuff and Jada Pinkett. And then here they had a chance to do something really cool and they dropped the ball.
Kind of dropped the ball and just went in strictly in the direction of stoner comedy / gory horror, which is a cool combo that I haven't seen before. But they could have done something really neat with her. They kind of missed the mark.
So we cut to Anton pushing a grocery cart home. Thank God he did get a little bit of responsible spark under his ass and he went to buy dog food. So he's going through this foggy alleyway and we get a little tense moment where he like feels like someone's following him. He gets stopped and harassed by two cops who are still less than happy about their social status from high school. I guess they were seniors when he was a freshman. And they're not happy that they were not part of the clique, Anton's clique.
Part of the cool kids. They weren't cool kids. And I love that for the life of me, I can't recall his name. And I made sure I looked it up because I was like, I don't want to call him Roach from People Under the Stairs because he's done so much more than that. But Roach from People Under the Stairs, and I blank on his name. Yeah, he's a really fun character actor that I have seen in so many things I can't even list them. Every time I see him, I know I'm gonna laugh. He's great.
I can tell you the one thing that he didn't want to probably be remembered for the rest of his life from his career is the one thing I remember him from. Yes, there's People Under the Stairs, but I always think of that peanut butter commercial about the radio host says, you're the winner. Who shot, I don't know, whatever president? And the answer is Aaron Burr. And he's the guy who takes care of the museum and they've got the bullet in the case and the picture on the wall. And he's the one guy that would know the answer and he can't talk because he's got peanut butter in his mouth.
Okay, I remember. Are you remembering? This now.
He's
yes.
all, Aaron Burr, and he can't talk. This is going to be what he's remembered for me for the rest of his life. Sorry, dude. So he tries to score some weed from these cops.
Yes.
And they get offended by that and they go ahead and search him, but he's wearing Penub's pants because he didn't have any on when he left his house. They find an empty plastic baggie and he's trying to tell them they're not my pants. They write him up anyway. And he says, well, you can't write me up. I know my rights. And so they drop the baggie on the ground and they say, fine, $200 for littering. And they write him a ticket for littering. It's like they just want to stick it to him. They don't care. So Anton goes home and he tears up the ticket and uses it to roll up his nutmeg and oregano. Oh my God. I was like, are you serious? He has a moment where he hears noises and he kind of gets spooked. And then he tries to smoke the spices and it doesn't go well.
No, of course it doesn't. Like I said, can confirm this is something that people who do smoke the marijuana will tell their stupid friends who don't know what they're doing to try and then laugh at them when they are stupid enough to try it.
He decides he's hungry. He has something on the TV. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like almost like a black and white music video. And he's super into watching it instead of paying attention to what he's doing. He decides to make a bologna sandwich. He grabs a knife from the drawer and dips it in the mayonnaise, makes the sandwich. The knife is covered in blood, which he doesn't notice until he's taking a bite of his sandwich.
It's so gross. It freaks me out just looking at it. When the mayonnaise, because when you're feeling it and you're like, you know what would smack right now? Just an old school Oscar Mayer bologna sandwich, and you're gonna slather so much mayo on. When you squeeze it, the mayonnaise just comes out the sides of the bread, and you're like, hell yeah, this is gonna hit right now. Not that I've ever been high and wanted a bologna sandwich, but if I did, when you see the mayonnaise squeezing out the side of the bread and it's like pink because it's streaky so with oh my God, it's so gross. And I'm instantly going, okay, now we're back on track here where somebody died. Let's get to this because this is going to be disgusting.
He spits out his bite and he freaks out because he says, oh my God, the killer's in the house. He takes his dog and I love that this sweet dog, he's just sitting there and Anton pushes him out into the hall. The dog's all so he's armed with an umbrella and he starts looking for the killer. He gets startled. He runs up to his parents' room where he sees the message scrawled on the ceiling. He runs back downstairs where he trips and falls into those life-size decorations with the pumpkin heads in his window. They all fall to the ground and the heads burst open and Anton sees his dead parents. So he runs out of the house. I thought, what a cool idea though for hiding the bodies, but how did he, I don't know. It just was weird how it all went down, but still cool to look at.
The weirdest thing about how it went down, and you're a dog lover and a dog owner, so you can confirm here, there is no freaking way that dog wasn't losing its mind when there is blood and eyeballs and dead mom and dad propped up in the living room.
Right.
The dog would have been freaking the hell out. The dog was cool as a cucumber and looking at him like, what's your problem? What are we doing? What are we hiding from? That dog would have been losing its shit. There's some stuff going on in this movie where I'm like, that's really smart. That's really funny. That's really cool. And then there's some stuff where I'm going, that makes no sense. And I kind of can't live in both worlds. Either
Right.
make no sense at all and I'll just like throw logic out and buy it, or I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like too many people were trying to write it and create it at the same time, and it kind of became a patchwork of, I don't know.
Well, he runs out into the street and he bumps into Penub and Mick, and he drags them in to show them his parents' bodies, but they are too distracted by the music video on the TV.
I love how they start dancing. They just start dancing and they're like Beavis and Butthead, like air slapping some ass that isn't there. Yeah, the dead bodies are right here, but they can't be bothered.
Well, he finally gets them to look over at the bodies, and Mick leans down and takes a piece of torn fabric from the mother's hand. And then we see him compare it to Anton's t-shirt, where there's a rip out of his shirt and it matches. They look over and they find the word aunt, A-N-T, scrawled in blood on the kitchen floor, and a couple of human ears that look like they're fried with some like French fries or something. So then Anton, this was weird to me. This didn't make sense. He backs up because he's kind of traumatized about taking everything in all at once here. And he holds his hand up and he looks at his hand and he sees that there's that black light paint residue on his hand from that "I'm under the bed" message.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to have the light off to see it in the parents' bedroom, how is he just standing in the kitchen and sees it? That was weird to me. That didn't track.
Black light paint is visible in sunlight for sure. And if you've ever used it, you know, when you look at it, like, oh, that's UV paint. It doesn't look the same, but it's definitely visible. You can see it and you can see the color. But yeah, he's putting it together. The ears is significant because he's going, oh, it's two left ears, meaning the killer's right-handed. And then he's looking at his right hand and then he's seeing that little remnants of the paint and he's starting to piece it together. My favorite part, though, is when Mick realizes that that piece of cloth is from his shirt. And he says to Anton, the killer must have been wearing your shirt. As if Anton took the shirt off, someone put it on, killed the parents, and then Anton put the shirt back on.
And Anton says a good line. He goes, no, the killer was wearing me.
Yeah, duh.
And it was like, yes, hello. So Mick goes running into the kitchen to call 911. And Penub stays in the living room. Anton follows Mick into the kitchen, and I love this scene. He ends up killing him by stabbing him in the forehead with a broken beer bottle. Here's my issue. Even though I freaking love this movie and it's hilarious to me, he smashes the bottle on the fridge and then jams it in his head, which we don't see. But when we cut back and see the bottle sticking out of his head, there's a little bit of liquid in it that actually props the special effects people. When he's moving around, you can hear it and see it sloshing around, that there's liquid in it. And I love that. That's an awesome effect, but that doesn't track because if you broke the beer bottle, all the liquid came out of it.
It makes no sense. And you wouldn't be able to injure someone in that way. And it wouldn't kill them for sure. You can't. It's stupid. It's a dumb idea, but
it looks fucking cool.
It looks amazing. Whoever did the makeup, a round of applause to them because it looks incredible. Even though this movie is as old as it is, it still looks amazing.
So Penub hears Mick screaming and then he looks over and he sees dead Mick on the floor. Anton's covered in blood. He tries to leave, but Anton's right hand starts moving around crazy and just acting up, contorting and acting all funny. And then it pulls Anton toward the front door and slams the door, stopping Penub from leaving. Now, this is the point where I'm going to say, love the movie, hate the movie, that's fine. I actually don't even like Devon Sawa as an actor. I don't look for things he's in. I don't really care for him. In this movie, he's phenomenal. His physical acting, when he's constantly fighting with his hand, I'm in stitches because he is amazing at this. And I can only assume he had to audition that. I can't pull that off. I know people who can't pull that off. So I love that part of this movie, actually. The stupidest part.
One of the only things that I still to this day love about this movie is Devon Sawa. I think he's great. I remember being a big fan. Anytime I saw him in anything in the 90s, I was here for it. I thought he was adorable, but I also thought he was a good actor. My notes are specifically the physicality once his hand takes over. Like you're talking Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead level with the physicality, and he does it beautifully. There's a couple of things he does that I backed it up and watched him do it again and went, oh my God, that's really, really hard. I don't know how he's doing it. He does a great job. And the face that to be an actor and have to really sell that your hand is independent and you can't control it and you're fighting with it. That's really hard to do. And he pulls it off so well. I love it. It's my favorite part of the movie.
So Penub goes down into the basement. Anton follows. They realize that Anton has no control over what his hand is doing. His hand grabs a knife and starts to attack Penub. Anton is holding his hand back and he tells Penub, run, get out. So as Penub is running up the stairs, Anton's hand gets free and grabs a round saw blade and just throws it like a frisbee and completely decapitates Penub right there on the stairs. And this is where you can see, once again, the budget money went, the special effects, because it looks great.
Really, really great mix of the practical and the CG to pull that off.
So Anton goes upstairs and he turns on the TV and we get this really funny scene where his two hands fight over the remote. I think it's so funny. Again, the physicality. The cat jumps up on the couch after this little remote fight and his right hand grabs the cat by his tail, swings it around like it's gonna lasso something, and it flings the cat out the window. It goes flying across the street into Molly's yard. The cat flying through the air and you hear it going, rare.
That's probably the only time a cat would make that sound. That's pretty fucking terrible. That poor cat.
So Anton goes over to look for the cat.
Anton's going over there to look for the cat. And this is when one of my absolute favorite things in this movie happens, which is when he gets over there and he's trying not to go up to the door, but his hand is trying to force him to. He does this amazing thing where he grabs the railing and then swings back, pulls back, and launches himself like he's in a slingshot up and over. And it's clearly all one take and really him doing it. And there's no padding. There's nothing there. He really just said, I can do it, and did it. Holy cow.
Let me do it.
So funny. And they looked at him and went, you're 20. You're made of rubber. Fine. If you really want to do it, go ahead.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the right hand decides to ring the bell to get Molly to come out. And of course she answers. And she insists that Anton, who clearly looks bloody and disheveled and not attractive in any way, insists that he come in, and they go up to her room where she flirts shamelessly with him. All the while, his hand is trying to figure out how to kill her. I hate this scene for the simple fact that I don't see the appeal.
I hate the character and I hate the entire storyline. I hate this aspect of this movie. And this is what now I looked at it and went, I don't enjoy this anymore. First of all, no self-respecting teenage girl would answer the door like that, no matter who it was. Dressed like that? Hell no. They are way too self-conscious, even when they're gorgeous, to do that. And then second of all,
back then maybe, but now if you look at like Instagram, girls put their tits and ass all over the place.
It's one thing to post your shit on Instagram, to have an OnlyFans, like you do you, boo-boo. If you're over 18, work it for all it's worth, whatevs. No high school age teenage girl is actually gonna walk around answering her own front door at night looking like that. Even today, call them up, ask them. I'm telling you right now. No, they don't. That it's so stupid. It's
I don't
so
know
stupid.
any, so I have to take your word for it.
It's so dumb. And then the clueless, flirty thing she's doing, and the more weird and aggressive he's being. For some reason, this character decides that's a turn on? ? He's more appealing.
Yeah.
That's where I completely checked out and went, poor Jessica Alba. She's probably quite ashamed of playing this character in hindsight. I mean, she's got kids. Yeah, she's a teenage actress, and this is how the roles were written. So you take what you can get, but it's got to be embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me as a woman watching it going, how did I ever enjoy this? It's insulting to females. It just is. I don't know. It's gross and it pisses me off.
And for that reason, we will skip the stuff that happens. But basically, at the end of this little scene, Anton sneaks out Molly's window because her parents come home and they make plans to go to the Halloween dance the following night. Cut to Anton burying his parents, Penub and Mick, in his yard. And the whole time his little hand is just right there going crazy. He hears Mick talking, muffled, saying he's in the ground and he doesn't think he's dead. I immediately, on first time I ever saw this, I was like, thank God they're not out of the movie. I don't care. Bring them back.
The parents were wasted. If they wasted those two, I would have gotten up and walked out if I had paid to see this.
So Mick and Penub's bodies come up out of the ground and Penub's body is still headless. So his body picks up a shovel and he hits Anton and knocks him out. Then we cut to Anton waking up in his room under the impression that he's dreamt the whole thing. We know he hasn't because he's still wearing his bloody shirt. I was like, how did undead Mick and Penub get him up into that damn attic again? He goes downstairs and for a split second, he thinks everything's fine because he sees the back of Mick's head and he hears him and Penub talking. They are actually sitting there on his sofa, undead, and they're watching TV. I love that Mick has that bottle in his head. Like I said, you can see the liquid when it's sloshing around when he turns his head around. And he's tossing little cheesy puffballs into Penub's severed head that's laying on the chair next to him.
Because it's one of their favorite games to play.
So good.
I love that Mick says he was a little bitter about the whole getting killed by his best friend thing, but he's had time to get over it. And I have to say, now that you're talking about mentioning the bottle, that liquid in the bottle, it's not beer. The liquid sloshing around in there would be blood.
I just thought it was cool that it's actually in there.
It's amazing. And now that they're officially undead, the makeup even a step further with them looking the way they do. Just man, oh man, is it fun to look at.
Well, and when they do close-ups on the bottle on his head, even, you can't tell where the bottle ends and the head starts.
Yeah, whoever did it did a fantastic job. You can't tell where the prosthetics are.
So then we see in the kitchen behind them, Penub's headless body is moving around trying to make food. That to me is just comedy gold. I don't know why. Dropping things and everything's going everywhere. Anton tells them that he thinks his hand is possessed. His buddies tell him they need to track down somebody that knows something about demons and possession. And they decide that his metalhead neighbor, Randy, who's always in his truck playing Shout at the Devil, must know something that can help them. So he heads off to the Burger Jungle, the fast food place, which I wish really existed, to find Randy and ask him what he knows about Satanism and the devil.
Because people who listen to Motley Crue must know about Satanism.
So actually, when he does track him down, Randy does give Anton some good advice. He tells Anton to keep himself busy because idle hands are the devil's playground. That's good advice, actually.
A very not satanic thing to say. That's actually pretty sound advice. As he's talking to Randy, the hand is going insane and he picks up a knife, and this shot when he throws the knife and it almost hits his new boss in the back of the head, just the shot of the knife flying across the room and hitting the wall. It's shot really well because you're thinking, oh, it's going to be, one of those silly cartoony looking, and it actually looks really good. I don't know how they did it, but it looks amazing and it makes me laugh.
So then after that scene, we cut to Anton on his couch and he's knitting, wildly knitting both his hands, watching music videos with Mick and Penub. The two cops from earlier arrive outside Anton's place in response to a noise complaint. They peek through the window and they assume that Anton is the killer. How did they get to that assumption? I wanted to ask you. Doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying, where it's like,
what? Some
of what's happening in this movie is really smart and funny, and some of it makes no goddamn sense. And that's one of those things.
Okay.
Yeah. They see him and they see what they think are two, dead bodies. But why does that make them assume he's the killer? They have no freaking idea what's happening. There's a teenager knitting and two dead bodies. How does that say he's the killer? It doesn't make any sense. But they now think they have just cause to go ahead and kick in his door.
Yeah. They go in, guns pointed, yelling, freeze, freeze. Anton jumps up and he's holding his hands above his head and he's still knitting. He's just wildly knitting. And to me, this is hilarious because he's so smart about it. He's like, I can't stop knitting. I have to keep my hand busy. Penub starts talking and one of the officers freaks out because his decapitated head is talking and he shoots him right in the head. Anton tells the cops, just take me to jail because if you lock me up, then I can't hurt anybody. And they get into a yelling match because Anton's saying, cuff me. And the cop is telling him to drop the knitting needles. And they go back and forth. To me, this whole thing is ludicrous, but also hilarious because he's just like wildly knitting.
The knitting is hilarious. The fact that, and the look on his face when he's doing it
Yes!
too, like, and then the way it kind of all just falls down on itself, where the knitting needles become weapons of mass destruction here.
Yes, and talk about effects again. Oh my God. Anton takes a knitting needle and runs it straight through, ear to ear, right through the head of the cop that's closest to him. I fucking love it. And then he grabs his taser and he tases the other cop in the face. I don't know if it was CG or what, but he burns his face and they both fall to the ground dead. I love it. I love the knitting needle right through the fucking head.
And Penub, go Buffalo. What? Like they're kind of here for it now. They're undead. What do they care?
So Anton says he can't keep doing this. So he goes into the kitchen and he's going to use, is this a real thing? A bagel guillotine.
The bagel slicer. Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. It was one of those, as seen on TV, ridiculous. Just use a knife, bro. I don't know.
Well, I like how he's going to use it to chop his hand off. And Penub is like, dude, that thing doesn't even cut bagels. Like,
right.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't take his hand off. So Mick goes over. This was weird to me too. Mick goes over and grabs the electric carving knife, which is conveniently sitting on the counter and plugged in. I don't know what they were carving that's just sitting around, but this still makes me laugh anyway. He picks it up and he starts to turn it on and walk over to Anton and he's all, look at me, I'm Leatherface. And it's like Seth Green, everything that comes out of his mouth in this movie is hysterical.
And then the cord isn't very long, so he just instantly unplugs it right when he starts to walk away with it.
And he looks so defeated. So Penub has set his severed head on the counter there, and Anton decides to put his hand in his mouth, and he tells him to bite down to hold his hand. He successfully manages to cut it off. Mick, again, grabs something that happens to be sitting nearby, plugged in, turned on. He grabs an iron and immediately cauterizes the wound on Anton. How was that iron just... What?
That's what I'm saying. Like, whoever is thinking about these things was like, stupid teenage stoners are the people coming to see this movie, so we don't have to worry about logic, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were thinking, which again, I find it kind of insulting on a lot of levels. A lot of what's happening in this movie. You're insulting my intelligence. You're not going for, dick and fart jokes. This is dumb comedy. You're doing things that are smart and funny, but then you're also doing things that don't make sense. It's not logical. Why is the iron there and turned on? But I do love the fact that after they cut off his evil right hand, it takes the time to leave him a taunting message in blood before exiting the room. They find this message on the floor. Bad move, Anton, or whatever it was.
Yes, bad move, Anton.
This hand is such a dick. It's going to stop and leave you that message before it runs away to go hurt people and kill things. Like, oh my God.
So Penub and Mick go next door to get their first aid kit so they can properly wrap his arm up. Molly arrives at Anton's in costume for the Halloween dance. Thoughts on Molly's costume?
I'll give you one guess.
It goes with her character in this movie.
Why does she look like a slutty Victoria's Secret model? I don't know. None of the other teenagers look quite that ridiculously adult and sexy when they get to the dance. Everyone else looks more like teenagers, and I was a teenager in high school right at this time, and that's no. Like I said, even the girls who are like, I want to be slutty, back then, they weren't walking around dressed like that. No, I don't think so. It's some loser guy's dream. Don't you wish a girl this hot and slutty would be into you? Whatever.
Oh, I didn't look up who the screenwriters were, and now I wish I would have.
Yeah, whoever wrote that character just, man, I hope she got everything in the divorce. That's all I gotta say.
So Anton's fighting with his rogue hand in the kitchen. He finally gets the better of it and tosses it into the microwave, shuts the door, cooks the hand, causing it to like turn black and it's spurting blood everywhere. It's so gross. I love it.
Yep.
So Anton and Molly leave for the dance. And I'm not even going to go into how stupid she is that she just believes what he says his costume is. It's the same shit he's been wearing for like 2 days, plus a vest from the fast food place, and his arm looks cut off. It's like she falls for it. So Mick and Penub go into Anton's kitchen. Oh, we're here. We got the first aid kit. And they have frozen burritos. So they're going to make the burritos, but Mick decides he can't take another minute of Penub's head being carried around by his body. So he takes this giant fork, like grilling fork, and he sticks his head on it and then shoves it into his body. I love that so much. He's just like, he's done with it. He's like, put your fucking head on. I can't take it anymore. I don't know. Those two just cracked me up. So they take the frozen burritos and they open the microwave and the hand comes flying out and busts through the window and takes off. And they're like, huh.
That shot kills me. It's just like the knife in the fast food place. Like, it's so well done. There's a little bit of CG work that goes into it, but it's used very well. And it's freaking hilarious. The hand just flying across the kitchen and out the window. And they're not even going to bother to clean the microwave. They're like, nope, whatever. Yeah, I didn't make the mess. I'm not going to clean it to get their frozen burritos. And
my question was, why are they eating frozen burritos? They're undead. They don't need to eat.
Because gas station burritos slap, man. Who are these guys, right? Think about who they were before they died. They're not going to just stop having habits. You want a gas station burrito, man.
True.
That's a good shit. But my favorite part is what happens when Penub tries to eat the burrito.
So it starts oozing out of his neck wound where the head is attached to the body.
So gross.
It's
so awesome looking. And then the solution is to just put something around that. Like, Jesus Christ, close that hole up. That's terrible.
Yeah, Mick duct tapes his neck up. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, but that's an amazing practical effect that they're pulling off. So clearly, just it's really a device on his neck, and it's really happening as he's talking and doing this. So it's makeup all day. I love it.
So Anton tells Molly, I'll meet you at the dance, and sends her away. He comes rushing in and he sees that the hand is gone. Outside, we see the hand crawling down the street. He's on his way somewhere. Cut to inside of a bowling alley where I was kind of bummed because I'd noticed in the credits, it says Mindy Sterling as the lady bowler. If you're not familiar with who she is, she was in Austin Powers. Okay, so you know who she is.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, she wasn't.
She's hilarious.
She was cut, I think, because I didn't see her. I was looking for her.
Oh, another underused actor / underused character. Okay. It's a habit here, apparently.
But we're in the bowling alley and we see Randy hitting on Debbie LeCure, who is still searching for the possessed hand. She's tracked it now to their little town. As they sip on some beer, Debbie tells Randy she's in town because she comes from a long line of druidic priestesses sworn to fight an evil force that possesses the laziest fuck up it can find, and it will kill as many people as possible and then drag a free soul into the netherworld. I wanted that story. I want more of that, but no.
I want a lot of things at this point. I want a lot of things to happen with this movie that aren't happening. I'm just trying to focus on the positive.
She adds that the one thing that can stop it she has, which we find out later is a special dagger of some kind, and she needs to find the guy with the possessed hand. Randy tells Debbie about Anton because he's like, oh, that's weird. I had this dude talking to me earlier about his hand doing weird stuff. So she immediately grabs Randy and says, let's go. And they take off in her RV to find Anton. We cut to outside, Anton finding the message, she's mine, scrawled in blood on his fence. Super quick, super random. So then we cut to Anton telling Mick and Penub that he's done being a lazy burnout. We need to go save Molly. Let's go to the dance. So they hop into Randy's truck. I'm trying to think how this happens because they steal his truck. Randy's with Debbie in her RV, but how did he get to the bowling alley? Did he not take his truck to the bowling alley? That just seems weird to me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. He's like, I guess I'll ride with you. Huh? Wait, where's the truck? Wait, they're stealing the truck and where are they? Yeah. There's a lot of, it's not necessarily like this is a dumb movie, so we're just going to have everything be dumb. And, this is not like Naked Gun airplane type. It's lazy screenwriting.
Yeah, because it threw me off.
It's annoying.
But in any event, they do steal his truck somehow. And then they pull up in the RV. Debbie jumps out, jumps behind the truck, and they back right into her, knocking her out. And then we get this creepy little scene where Randy kind of smirks and he's all excited. He gets to try to do CPR and wake her up. And he gives this weird smirk to the camera. And then
it's a little
CPR kisses her to wake her up. It's kind of weird.
No offense at all to Jack Noseworthy. It has nothing to do with him. He's doing what's in the script. But that's a little rapey. It's a little strange and it's totally unnecessary. That's what I'm saying. Some sort of creepy, pervy guy was writing what happens with the female characters here. And he was doing it from a creepy, pervy place. And I see that now. Didn't see it as a teenager. It takes me out of the movie and pisses me off. But thankfully, one breath wakes her up. Pretty sure that's not how CPR works, but okay, whatever.
At the dance, we see a couple in their kiss face makeup sitting in the car making out, and they get attacked by the hand that comes in through a window. They get killed.
Not before the hand, makes sure that we get gratuitous shots of this woman's exposed breasts.
Yes.
What? Why is this happening in this movie? Okay. Gross.
So the Three Stooges pull up in Randy's truck and they happen upon opening this car and magically finding this dead couple, which was convenient.
Because if you see a car with steamed up windows, your first thought is that's where my murderous severed hand must be.
Yes. And then Anton immediately says, I'm going to go looking for the hand. You two, to Mick and Penub, go in the dance and find and protect Molly. And he runs off in an opposite direction. How the fuck do you have hand tracking ability now? Like, how do you know where to go?
I love that now that they're going to go into the dance, Penub is a little excited about maybe he could win the costume contest. Because he might be able to score with a hot babe if he wins a contest, right? Babes like winners. And then Mick points out, but I don't think dead guys are going to score with chicks. And the look that Elden Henson gets on his face, the look that Penub has when he realizes, I'm never going to get laid again. This look of depression just comes right over his face. So funny.
So inside the dance, where the band The Offspring is playing a kick-ass version of I Wanna Be Sedated by the Ramones, we see Molly and her friend dancing amongst a large crowd of teens, all in costumes.
I live for this scene because I'm like, The Offspring, yes, please, thank you. They would never, ever be playing a high school dance in the year 1999. I don't know why they're there, but cool, because I love them. And this is giving me full-on high school nostalgia.
Yes, love The Offspring. And I love that song and the Ramones. So I was stoked that was the song they were doing.
I know, right? It instantly made me remember seeing Rob Zombie do a cover of that song live. And I was like, so many people have covered that song. This is an excellent version of it.
So Mick and Penub bump into Molly's friend and they credit Anton with their costume design. And I like that as they're walking and dancing and stuff, Penub has to constantly have his hands on his head, like to keep his head on.
It's good acting. Elden Henson, I guarantee you, there was no one on set smart enough to tell him to do that, because look at the script. Clearly, that is just super, super smart, amazing character work on his part. I love him. If people aren't very familiar with Elden Henson, we're giving a lot of love to Seth Green. If people aren't super familiar with him, please go check out some of the other shit he's done, because he is fantastic.
Well, the thing I know him from recently is Daredevil, the series on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing in that.
Yep.
So, okay, here we get another pervy scene. Meanwhile, while the dance is happening, the hand crawls into the principal's office, where we see the principal on a phone call yelling about his credit card not being accepted. And then he finally gets it accepted. And they can start on this sex operator phone call that he's having, where he's talking dirty to somebody. I was like, what?
So he's the principal. If he has to be in the building when the kids are there, instead of doing what he's supposed to be doing and chaperoning the dance, he's like, I'm on the premises as requested. I have to be here, but I'm bored. What's he going to do? He's going to go call up a 900 number and pleasure himself in his office? Ew.
Well, he gets attacked by the hand, and then Anton stumbles on his dead body. So little justice there. Little pervy guy gets what's coming to him.
And then what does the hand do while it's in his office?
It sharpens its fingernails in his pencil sharpener.
Amazing. awesome. It's so gross. It looks so cool. Shout out to summer school. Pretty sure that's where they got the idea. Thank you, Dave and Chainsaw.
Right?
The sharpening of the fingers in the pencil sharpener, it still works.
So Randy and Debbie LaCure show up at the dance. Anton runs into Debbie and she tells him that she can stop what's happening. And then she tries to stab him because she doesn't know that he cut his hand off. After Randy punches Anton for taking his truck, Anton shows them his stump and explains he cut the hand off. Debbie, Randy, and Anton then go into the dance to look for the hand because they assume that it's after Molly. As Anton gets on the stage to tell everyone to go home, the hand locks the gymnasium doors. The lead singer of The Offspring, I don't know his name.
Poor Dexter. His name's Dexter.
He goes over to the mic and he tells Anton to get off the stage. And as he's speaking, the hand quickly grabs the top of his head and rips his scalp backwards. It's such a great effect.
It looks so good. And now I'm going, now I know why the Offspring are in the movie and why they're playing at the high school dance. It's because when someone said, can we use your music? They said, in a horror movie, I want to be in it. And freaking Dexter was like, you put me on the stage and scalp me. I want to be in this movie.
Right? Makes me love him even more.
Yeah, it looks so good.
So all the kids see that, of course, and scream and start running for the exits, but they can't get out. So Molly and Tanya go into an air vent to get away. The hand follows them in, and they use one of Tanya's shoes to stop a giant fan blade from spinning so they can drop down into the hallway below. This scene legit freaks me out. I mean, escalators and giant fans, forget about it.
It's very anxiety inducing.
Yes, especially because they constantly keep cutting back to the tick, 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 tick of the fan bumping against the shoe, wanting to move.
Yes, absolutely. It's a Final Destination type anxiety moment. Another great Devon Sawa performance.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, it still gives me anxiety. Looking at the fan and the way it's like clicking and the shoe could come loose at any second. It's well shot and it's a cool idea.
Yeah, again, props to the director. Yeah, the movie effectively shot. So Molly drops down into the hallway and she's yelling for Tanya to come down next, but Tanya's hesitating. So Mick and Penub decide to crawl into the vent to go after the girls. And we get another stupid little nothing thing that happens that tickles my pickle. When they're crawling through, Mick's head gets stuck against the wall because the bottle gets stuck in a little groove in the ceiling above him in the vent. I love it. So the hand realizes what the girls are doing and it pulls the rope and then uses it to kill Tanya. The fan blades obliterate her. She's splattered everywhere. We don't really see it. We just see the after effects because Mick and Penub crawl through the vent and they get the opening and they see it splattered. And Mick says, I'm not going through all this, Tanya. We got to turn around.
That's one of my favorite lines in the whole movie. I'm not going through all this, Tanya.
And he says it so matter-of-factly that it's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
So they turn around and head back. Anton goes into an art room where he is assaulted by the hand inside of a puppet head. Just as he's about to smash it, he's knocked out by Penub and Mick dropping through the ceiling. They accidentally knock him and the puppet gets away. They hear Molly screaming and they run off and they find her strapped to the top of a car in their auto shop.
This is another one of these logic things where I'm like lazy ass screenwriting because the hand, and I love that I'm thinking about this so critically and logically, but you kind of have to. There has to be some kind of logic, a little bit. The hand did not have time to do that to her. How long has she been up there? Unless she's been up there for like 45 minutes, the hand didn't have time to do that. This makes no sense. She's not stupid. She would have gotten down by now. It had to have just happened. The hand couldn't have done that fast. What?
And you know what else makes no sense? I'll compound this even further. She's strapped to the top and the car is on a lift, which apparently will go all the way to the ceiling. The threat is she's going to get smashed against this pentagram that the hand also had time to paint onto the ceiling with blood. They don't go that high. The lifts wouldn't go that high to push her into the ceiling.
No, it would have to go so high that no mechanic underneath could reach it without a ladder. That doesn't make sense.
Track.
Yeah.
Mick and Penub are distracted by a giant bong that's off in the corner, made out of auto parts. As Anton tries to stop the hand, Anton takes a hit off the bong, blows the smoke into the puppet hand, effectively getting the hand stoned. What is happening in this? What?
So this idea, okay, we're dealing with some sort of possession, but it only happens to a hand. And you have to just buy that and go with it. So any logic around the fact that this is a detached, possessed hand, I'm fine with logic holes as far as that goes. Okay, so the hand is its own thing and it breathes and you can get it high. I buy all that and it's funny. It's the hand literally didn't have the means or time to go do this and that I can't wrap my head around. But the hand getting high, I'm here for it. I think it's fucking hilarious. And when it's in the puppet, and he blows the smoke in and the puppet head turns around and the eyes roll up and they're all bloodshot. That's like, suddenly this is like Airplane, Naked Gun humor. And, I'm laughing. I think that shit's hilarious.
So the hand does get, as you mentioned, fully stoned. It loses its grip and it falls to the floor. And Molly is not squished after all.
And I have to say, that bong, that is a mighty impressive bong, and real world experience can confirm plenty of people in high school use their time in shop to build bongs out of all kinds of surprising materials. I think that is hilarious.
I like when he finds it, he holds it up and he's all Mighty Joe Bong.
I love that makes you laugh, and you were mad at the purple people eater in Dead Man on Campus. It's a giant bong, girl. It's funny as hell.
All in the delivery, babes. All in the delivery.
I love that they call it taking Anton time.
Yes.
When it gets high. Now you're taking Anton time.
So the hand pops up, leaps at Anton as Debbie comes running into the room. She throws her dagger. It impales the hand, which goes flying into Mick's chest and sticks. And I like that this all happens really fast. The hand gets stuck in Mick, starts to turn red, and then explodes, poof, and disintegrates, and it's gone. That's it. There's nothing more exciting.
Very quiet and very fast. And I love how Seth Green reacts to it.
Yes, Mick is very disappointed that there is no explosion or anything grand that happened.
That's it? Yeah. He's like, that's it? It's so anticlimactic. How dumb. What a dumb ending.
But it's perfect that they had him say that, because that's what we were thinking, the audience, right?
Yep. But hey, Jessica Alba is in underwear for no freaking reason. So everything worked out.
Well, and Debbie says, yeah, that's it. And she grabs Randy and says, and now it's time to head off for the ritualistic sex. And they leave the room. Okay.
Yes, because all women do is go around looking for men to have sex with. I don't know.
Anton cuts Molly down and they kiss. And then Anton is accidentally crushed underneath the car when it gets released by accident by P-Nub, who bumps into the lever. P-Nub. P-Nub. So I wanted to call him P-Nub this whole time. But yeah, Anton crushed under the car. I'm like, oh shit, they just killed Anton. What the hell? Because that car was up really high.
I would have been totally fine with Anton and Naked Girl getting crushed and having Mick and P-Nub just walk away and have that be the end of the movie. I would have walked out of the theater laughing so hard, because I would have been like, all is forgiven, because I hated both these characters. I hated how they were written. And then you killed them, and the two best things in this movie walked off holding hands. I'm good. I would have loved that, actually.
So the garage door opens up and Mick and P-Nub go off into the white light. They didn't go earlier, but they're going now. Cut to Anton in the hospital in a full body cast with Molly spoon feeding him. He sees Mick and P-Nub as angels. They appear to him in his room and only he can see them. The nurse tells Molly, oh, it's probably just the meds. They tell Anton that they're his guardian angels. And as they leave, I like that Mick turns the light out. How he can do that, I don't know. But he turns the light out and Anton screams because he sees the words, I'm under the bed, glowing on the ceiling. And I thought that was so perfect.
It's hilarious to remind your friend that he murdered his own parents. So funny.
Evil. Why would you do that?
It doesn't track with who they are as characters. So it doesn't make me laugh. I'm like, ooh, bad writing again. They wouldn't do that.
Well, and they're even joking about it as they walk away in the hall. We hear them further say that they did it just to fuck with him and they're not going to tell him, ha ha. And he screams like a girl. Listen to that. It was like, you made it to heaven. You're angels. And what?
It's because you're supposed to laugh and go, oh, same old Mick and Penub. Oh, haha.
Oh.
But it's like, now hold on. Yeah. Would they do something like that to him to scare him and make him scream? Yeah. Pretty sure whoever wrote this didn't think about, wait a minute, them doing that is going to remind him that he murdered his parents and his parents are dead. They wouldn't do that. Nobody said a word. Nobody said, hey, this isn't a great idea.
So then when that happens, we cut to black as The Offspring plays again and credits roll. The end. I'm assuming that there's nothing that we missed that you want to touch on before we get to the questions.
No, I think that despite the bad taste in my mouth after watching this movie and going, ooh, this didn't age very well for me, as far as like, yeah, the things about it that bothered me, I still picked out so many things to praise and I still enjoyed so many things about it that I'm glad I rewatched it. I'm just never going to watch it again. Never, ever in my life again. No, thank you, ma'am.
All right. Question 1. How did the evil get from the dude in Utah to Anton? We don't ever get to know that piece of information. What do you think? I want you to hypothesize.
There's a lot of information that we don't get in this movie, including who hired the screenwriter and how did this get approved. Let's just leave it at that. You know what? Debbie's probably got a really interesting ancient book that explains how the evil travels. Unfortunately, we'll never get to see any of that.
So that leads me to question 2. Would you have liked more backstory on Debbie's lineage and her whole, how she operates, her whole situation she has going on?
In a completely different movie, sure, it wouldn't have worked or fit in this movie. There's so many things in this movie that don't work together and don't fit with each other already. That would have seemed bizarrely out of place, unfortunately. But it would have made a great movie, a great story all on its own. It's a cool idea.
All right. And question 3, what happens to Anton now that he has lived? Is he brought up on murder charges for these people? Should he be? Because there was a lot.
We found another problem here. Yeah. So
I mean, there was 4 before his parents.
Not terribly happy that they're thinking it's a bunch of teenage stoners coming to see it. Who cares? We don't have to make things make sense at all. Yeah. Whoever said that, screw you. You lost a lot of money on this movie and you deserved it.
Joke's on you.
Yeah. It just, that really irritates and frustrates me. Think about it. Like, ha ha ha, oh, what a funny movie. He got the girl at the end and he's in his full body cast. He murdered a lot of people and there's tons of forensic evidence. Huh?
And what's going on here? Nobody's going to believe a possessed hand, did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone interested in watching this movie, now that we've sung its praises and then not so much, it is currently streaming for free on Pluto TV and other places, you know, where you can pay stream, but we recommend watching it for free.
I would highly suggest, if you're going back for a rewatch after listening to this, probably a great idea to just forward through anything that doesn't have Mick and Penub. Because if Mick and Penub are there, comedy gold.
You know what? We need somebody to make the Mick and Penub cut for YouTube. Let's get somebody out there who's savvy. Put that together.
We need a team of people who take our suggestions and run with them.
Right?
Yep. Come on, people, jump up and join the team. Somebody make that movie. It'd be about 20 minutes long. It'd be fantastic.
Agreed. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank my co-host, Miss Nikki Flixx, for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, we will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye. I'm waving really hard with my possessed hand.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, you know, we just finished season 4, we're rolling into season 5. It would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our bad movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. We're on X. I'm honestly not sure how much longer I'm going to have the show on there, but currently the handle is at Gobble Podcast. Get it? Gobble, 'cause like a turkey. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. And like I mentioned, we're rolling into season 5. It is 2025. The show, it's been a wild ride, still going strong. So if you have a movie that you would like to hear covered on the show, let me know by emailing direct at letstalkturkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie that you think is a bad movie if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie, but you like to talk about it. That's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you get the fuck out of here? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go. Good God.